Hey!
Hey, I'm CJ,
And I'm Robin.
and welcome to the Cozy Kitchen.
Come and make yourself comfortable here with us by the fire.
Let's chat about baking, friendship, and cozy hobbies. And if there's time and enough tea, maybe we'll even unravel some traumatic backstories.
I mean, there should always be enough tea.
What are your plans for Thanksgiving, baking wise?
So, honestly, we're going to keep it very low key this year for Thanksgiving. In years past, I have been the host and I have loved it. I absolutely adore being the house that people come to for Thanksgivings. This year, we just don't have the energy for it, and we are also far away from friends and family, and that makes things hard for the holiday stuff. So this year, I'm gonna make us. I still love Thanksgiving. I love Thanksgiving food, so I'm going to still make a more low-key version of Thanksgiving dinner, and so that's. I think that's gonna be our plans. But dessert-wise, I don't know. I might, since it's just gonna be the two of us, I might do something that I might not ordinarily do. Like I was thinking about doing some kind of like tiramisu, but make it pumpkin spice flavored, or some kind of pumpkin pie or something like that. So that's what I'm thinking for my neck of the woods. How about for you? What are you looking forward to Thanksgiving? Are you gonna do any fun baking?
Yeah, Thanksgiving, I'm going down to LA to see my mom and my aunt. My cousins and I, we're going to drive down together. And my family, like my aunt and my mother, love to cook, so I expect them to be cooking up a storm. But their cooking is very Asian, so it's not going to be Thanksgiving in the traditional sense. So I'll probably bring this pumpkin that I've been storing.
Cute. Well, that's
I've
like
been
the Cinderella, like the sugar pumpkins, right? Like those are the ones you
Yes.
want to have to make pumpkin pie.
Yeah, yeah. So I bought this probably in like October, early October or something, and it's just been sitting around as decor, and I'm going
Oh, good.
to bring it to LA, bake it, and puree it, and probably make pumpkin pie with it.
Incredible.
Yeah. Other than that, since my mom is going to be cooking, and when they cook, they seem to be cooking for Army, even though it's going to be the four of us. So I don't plan on adding more food. But for the holidays, generally speaking, I do tend to want to make more food, like bake and cook.
Does that come from just like the tradition of having a lot of food around the holidays, or is that something that you just enjoy doing because it's something that you enjoy doing?
I think I'm like you. As a kid, our house was often the place to go for food. Like we'd have a lot of
Mhm.
friends over. My parents would have a lot of friends over, family over, and it's just a lot of activity. And I like that. And I like to be a host. And the holidays is always a perfect excuse for that. So I had a question about you were saying you plan like these meals. Like, how do you plan your meals?
Oh, let me tell you, I have a system.
Yes, tell me
I
your
have a whole
system.
system. And I actually am curious to see if it matches up with your system because you've hosted before, you've made beautiful meals for a lot of people before. I want to know if this matches up at all with how you plan things. So my Thanksgiving planning starts way before Thanksgiving. It starts like at the beginning of November at the very latest. Usually I like to get a sense sometime in October even of if I am going to be hosting Thanksgiving, how many people will want to be there. Can I just get a rough estimate? I'm not expecting people to like sign their name in stone, whatever. But if I could just get like a rough estimate, so if I know that I have to cook for 5 to 10 people, 10 to 15 people, I don't know if I've ever cooked for more than 10 or 15 people before. If I need to make a plan, I'd like to start with knowing how many people I'm going to be preparing for.
Yep.
And then I can dive into the rest of it. And that basically involves like maybe the beginning of November. I have a menu going and I can set a plan in motion for like the foods that I'm going to be making, how much time everything's going to take, what ingredients I'm going to need, how many trips to the grocery store I'm going to have to take.
Yeah.
And it even extends until, like, I remember the first Thanksgiving that I hosted with like friends and more family when we moved to North Carolina. I actually needed to go and get more serving dishes because when we lived at Stanford, we didn't really have a whole lot. Like we had, I think we just served our Thanksgiving stuff in like those like aluminum tray things that you can
Mhm.
pitch afterwards, which that's great
Mhm.
if that's what people
Yeah.
want to do. But I wanted to feel a little fancy, so I ended up like just getting a couple more serving dishes that year. But then once I have all that figured out and I have all that kind of planned out, then the closer it gets to Thanksgiving, I will just as I'm going grocery shopping just for the week, I might pick up a couple little pantry items. I might get like stuff for my cranberry sauce because
Mhm.
if it's shelf stable, I have no problem picking that up. Same thing with any kind of like pantry type of shelf stable stuff. I will pick that up throughout the month so that I don't
Mhm.
have to buy $700,000 worth of groceries in a single sitting and I can spread out a little bit throughout the month.
Yes. Yeah.
Same thing with whenever I make my stuffing, I'll go to Walmart and I will get their loaves of Italian bread that are like 49 cents when they're on clearance. And
Uh-huh.
I'll get a couple of them and I'll put them in my freezer because when they're in the
Mm.
freezer, they last for a long time.
Mhm.
And so I'll stock up on that, have plenty of stuff for the stuffing
Mhm.
just because I can put stuff in the freezer too.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, like the day or the week before Thanksgiving, like starting on like that Sunday, I think is go time. That's when you have
Yep.
to have your stuff together. So
Mhm.
I'll
Agree.
make a whole plan on what can I do to help myself throughout the week so that by the time that Thanksgiving day arrives, I have all my I's dotted, my T's are crossed, and I can be not only just like ready for myself, but I can be a good host to anybody who comes into my house, and I don't have to be running around like a chicken with my head cut off.
Yeah. Yes.
So
This
is yours the same? Do you plan that far in advance, or do you have a different way of doing it?
Yes, I may not be as far as like a month ahead, but at least a week. If it's the day before Thanksgiving and I have not figured things out, I am not making Thanksgiving.
Oh
Like,
yeah, no, that's way
no
too
way.
hard.
Yeah.
You'd kill yourself.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Yeah, so you gotta have that. Yeah, like it all starts with a menu, right? So I'll sit down and I will figure out what I want to make. And obviously depends on like how many people are going to be there. I like your idea on stocking up ahead of time, getting the pantry stuff, getting stuff on clearance and putting it in the freezer. That I have not done. And it always ends up being this gigantic bill that's okay, this is the Thanksgiving bill.
Yep. Yep, and it's every single year, it feels like it gets more and more expensive, and so, yeah, that's if I can spread that spending out just a little bit throughout the month, but that's the thing, it's like you can't there are some things that you just cannot purchase very far in advance, and that's what bothers me every year because I really want to avoid the crowds, but I also don't wanna get groceries delivered because I like being able to pick out my own stuff so that I
Yep.
know exactly what I'm getting. But it's like with produce, for instance, like I don't wanna buy stuff to make a salad 2 weeks before the
Right.
Thanksgiving like, you can't do that.
Yep, yep. You could
But
do it with the pumpkin, but
yes, you can do it with the pumpkin, but not much
yeah.
else in terms of produce.
Yep, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. And then after that, like my system is very similar to yours. I map it out by day. Like the weekend before Thanksgiving, I'm thinking, okay, what do I do today? Can I make cranberry sauce today, freeze it, and then not have to worry about it until like the actual day? Can I make cut the veggies ahead of time so that on the day of I could just put it together and
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
cause
that's
it
huge.
yeah, totally. Like,
Yeah.
I hate hosting and cooking the whole time and not interacting with people.
Yeah, and it traps you in the kitchen for better or worse. Sometimes it's nice.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's nice to have a little bit of a break from socializing and to have an excuse to go and tend to stuff in the kitchen. But yeah, I agree. It's nice to have everything all together. And if a lot of your recipes contain some of the same ingredients, like for instance, if you use like onions and you might use onions and mushrooms in both your stuffing or your dressing as well as a green bean casserole. It's nice to be able to get all of that done in one fell swoop. It's what is it called? It's like mise en place or something like
Mhm.
that. It's like you've got all of your veggies chopped, ready to go. I started watching this one baker on YouTube. She's very cool. She lives in Amsterdam, I want to say, and she runs a bakery from her home. And what she does is she will prepare all of her like mixes on one day, and then she'll just
Mm.
be able to pull those out and use them in her baking the next day. And she did this whole vlog channel like experience thing where she was like, "Hey, come with me as I prepare Friendsgiving, and you can come with me every single day this week, and you can see what I do on these days." And what she did, which I think is very impressive, is she has those like restaurant style like Tupperware kinds of things. And
Mhm.
so what she did is she measured out all of the ingredients that are going to go into each specific recipe that she is going to be making either the day before or the day of Thanksgiving,
Mhm.
and she labeled them. So it'll be like, "Oh, this is my celery, carrots, and onions, and I'm putting them in the same jar, and on a piece of tape or something, I'm gonna write, this is for the soup that's gonna be the appetizer." And then
Mhm.
she stores that and puts it away, and she does that for all of the separate ingredients and things that she's going to need and things that can be
Mhm.
stored together. And I just thought that was such a clever idea. Just it's all right here, just pull it out of the fridge, plunk it in the pan, do what you have to do with it.
Yes. What is her background? Because that sounds like a commercial kitchen
Oh,
method.
yeah.
Because that's what we did in the commercial kitchen.
Yeah, that's exactly it. She worked in a professional, I don't know if it was a patisserie or if it was just a standard bakery, but yeah, she very much comes from that background as well. Is that
Yeah.
something that you do whenever you're preparing stuff? Like if you're getting stuff ready like the day before, do you have a
Yes.
similar method of preparation?
Yeah, so when we worked in a commercial kitchen many years back, there's like dinner service or like lunch service. That's like when it's like showtime. Like you are performing.
Mhm.
Things better be in place or else you will not make it through that dinner service. And so
Yep.
things had to be labeled. And like one of the chefs would force us, we used masking tape. They force us to not just rip the masking tape. He was like so anal that he was like, use scissors to cut it so it's perfectly square. And everything had to be
Oh.
super orderly, like your station when you're chopping things, like you better be wiping things down, throw things away as you're cooking, and like your knife, if you're gonna step away, it needs to be in a specific position on the chopping board. Otherwise, he's gonna come over and yell at you. It was just like the amount of discipline in these commercial kitchens is just insane. So that lady on
Oh.
YouTube, like, I'm not surprised.
That is incredible, but also it feels like there's a purpose to that rigidity. It feels like
Mhm.
it's not even cutting the masking tape instead of ripping it, even that feels like it has a purpose. Even if it feels very anal, it's very much like I think for me, it's if things are organized and if I can see the organization, then I feel more organized. And I think that we're not always cooking Thanksgiving dinners. So I think that it's easy to, if you're not working in a commercialized kind of a kitchen, it's easy to forget year after year, oh, this is how important it is to be organized. But
Mhm.
like having everything all set and ready to go, it makes such a huge difference. And I love the comparison that you made about how it really is like putting on a show. And just like in the theater, you like if you have props, if you have costumes, set design, you rehearse and you know where every single thing is. Even like the prop table you have specific labels where every single prop is going to go. So that way, when the actors come off stage, they have to grab something really quickly. They know exactly on that table where it is because it's dark backstage. You can't
Mhm.
really see a whole lot. So
Right.
it's that same, but once you have all of that ready to go, then things can just go so much more smoothly. It's not that it isn't still hard work, but it's the differences in how you feel after it's all done. Do you feel like you are overstimulated and like you're going crazy, or do you feel like okay, things are going smoothly, I know where everything is, I'm able to be present and enjoy this day? Because that's you want to still it's still your day to enjoy too. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. So I have a question. Do you, when you plan your menu, depending on like the number of guests or who's coming, like how do you choose what to make?
That is a good question, and it's mostly boils down to the fact that I love traditional Thanksgiving food. And so every year, I know that there are some people out there who don't like doing turkey because it's boring, it's dry, that it's just like there and there's you end up with a lot of it. But I like doing turkey. I recently discovered wet brining, and I've done that for the last couple years. It makes for a very delicious, juicy turkey. Also, if you baste anything with enough butter, it's gonna turn out all so I figured that out.
Yes.
I usually go very traditional, and I love incorporating dishes that Ethan, my partner, and we've both kind of grown up with. For instance, every year for Thanksgiving, I make the dressing that his mom makes. And dressing in this context is stuffing, but we don't call it stuffing because it doesn't go into the turkey. It's just
Mhm.
dressing when it's not in the turkey. And she uses like crumbled up hot sausage and also diced up pepperoni in her dressing. And it was very sweet. She actually gave me this handwritten like little recipe book. I was able to like all these years later I've been able to create the dressing that she makes. And
Aw.
so that's been nice to have, especially for Ethan, because I think he like that's what he grew up with.
Mhm.
And same thing for me, like my mom, I've always loved like cranberry sauce. That's been one of my favorite side dishes. And
Uh-huh.
I love doing it the way that my mom would make it. So
Oh.
and she would make a cranberry jello mold and
Uh-huh.
she would do I think some years she would use whole cranberries and she might make her own sauce that way, but other years she would get that ocean spray like in the can but she would mix it with jello. Sometimes it would be raspberry, sometimes it would be
Oh.
cherry, and I think
Interesting.
she might even add a little extra jello in
Huh?
there. And then she also put mandarin oranges in there, which are
Uh-huh.
some of my favorites, and I love like that burst of citrus as you're
Uh-huh.
biting into the jello. So that's another thing that I love making it. It makes me think of my mom, and so I don't know, it's delicious and it makes me really happy. And I am curious because you mentioned that your Thanksgiving, you tend to have a lot more like of Asian foods and everything. So I'm curious, what's on your Thanksgiving table usually every year? Or do you change it up depending on your own preferences?
So I like if I were cooking Thanksgiving dinner, mine goes to traditional like American style. Like I try to go because I'm vegetarian. There's no turkey,
Yep.
but I try to make turkey like a vegetarian version of it. So been a lot of experimentation. There's so many options nowadays with vegan or vegetarian like alternative meats. And so I will take that as a base and do the same thing to a normal turkey. You brine it, baste it, all of those things. You do the same thing. And it's turned out pretty well over the years. I feel like I have somewhat of a system. Like it changes every year depending on what I'm getting. But this year, I might not do it for Thanksgiving, but this year, there's this new company called Juicy Marbles, and they make this whole loin. It looks like a, a piece of like meat. Like normally, like right now, the popular stuff are like ground beef, like
Mhm.
burger patties and stuff, little meatballs. But this one looks like a whole piece of beef that has marbling and everything, that they call it juicy marbles. So it looks like a whole piece, not ground, not nothing like that. And so what I want to do this holiday, maybe not Thanksgiving, but definitely by Christmas, I want to make a vegetarian beef Wellington.
Oh my God, that would be incredible. Oh, that would be so good. And and I love the fact that vegetarian and vegan like options for meat have just like that they've come so far in being able to replicate things so well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I you're gonna have to take some pictures of the vegetarian beef Wellington because that sounds absolutely incredible. And that's what a lovely like holiday feast, I think. Because I could see it like just plated up so beautifully with a sprig of rosemary, maybe have some mashed potatoes on the side. Just oh, that would be so good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So my cousin and I are going to the Dickens Fair, and I think I'll make it during that weekend we're hanging out.
So festive. Oh my God, that's gonna be so fun. Now, is your cousin a vegetarian as well?
Yes, she is. She is. So she's 10 years older than me, but she became vegetarian probably in her 30s, I would say. Yeah. So,
Wow, that's
yeah.
awesome. That's very
Uh,
cool.
You mentioned earlier before we started recording that there was a potluck.
Yes.
Do you have plans for that, or is that something your partner's doing?
It's funny you say that, and I don't say this to throw him under the bus because he genuinely did not bring this up to get me to do anything. Was talking out loud and was like, "Oh yeah, I got this potluck thing on. I think he said it was Friday, and I'm not too sure what I should bring." And I was like, "Okay, look, I am not about to pass up the opportunity. I am very egotistical. I can't pass up the opportunity to show off my baking skills." And so I was like, you know what? I'll make something. It's fine.
Mhm.
I'll wake up early tomorrow and I can have some time before work and I will whip up some pumpkin cupcakes and here's my thing. Whenever I have a goal, my goal is to own a house one day. And if I own a house, then that means I can have a garage. And if I have a garage, that means I can have a garage freezer. And if I have a garage freezer, it means that I can do what my bubby did and just bake stuff and then store it in the freezer for
Mm,
situations like this. But don't have a house, don't have a garage, don't have a garage freezer. I have to just do what I can do. And so usually whenever I put myself in the position, because nobody else is forcing me to do this, I'm doing this to myself. Whenever I am putting myself in this position, I usually go for stuff that I have made before. I
mhm.
go for stuff where I know I have the ingredients right in my cabinets and I have a recipe that I have followed multiple times before. It has never steered me wrong because if you do decide to do baking at the last minute, you do not want to mess around with variables that
Yep.
are unknown and unknowable.
Yes.
I'm sure you can attest.
It's you sound like an experienced baker for sure.
You sound like somebody who's bitten off more than they can chew in the past. Oh my. But yeah, I think that's something that I know to do is just like and the only thing that I am missing that I really wish I had were some like just really nice like cupcake liners. They're just
Mhm.
these guys are gonna have bare butts. I don't know what else to Oh, it's fine. You know what? That's okay. If that's the worst part about this week, I can live with that. Also, I really wanted to make a pumpkin spice sourdough loaf because I started following this one girl on Instagram who makes sourdough, and
Uh-huh.
I've learned a lot from her by watching just her stuff. And actually, thanks to you, I've learned a lot about sourdough as well. So I've been able to take the knowledge that you've given me and the knowledge that I'm learning online, and I've combined them together. And so I have made this pumpkin spice sourdough loaf before, and it turned out really well. It's just that the recipe that I found used a little too much salt. And
Mm.
so this I wanna make it again this time, but obviously I'm gonna cut back a lot on the salt.
Mm.
But I thought that could also be a nice thing to bring, and if
Yeah.
I if I had more time and if I had the gumption to do it, I would also love to make my own cinnamon butter. But
Mhm.
this week, I am trying to get my word count in for my novel, and I'm not that self-sabotaging. I'm a little self-sabotaging, but I'm not that self-sabotaging.
Yes.
Yep.
You're gonna have to share with me the YouTube channel. I'm so curious.
Yeah, I will. She's very fun, and she does a lot of really fun stuff with her sourdough, and she's named her sourdough, which I found very funny because I also named mine.
Oh, what's your sourdough's name?
Her name is Doe Lee Parton.
Oh, that's I love it.
And it's so funny, and let me actually, because you've done sourdough before, let me know if first of all, let me know if you've ever formed a relationship with your sourdough, because I need to know. But also, I feel like I went from being super prescriptive with, like, the feeding, like, how much I would feed the sourdough, the
Uh-huh.
timing and everything, the filtered water that I would use. I was so prescriptive, and now I feel like I'm at a place where she just tells me what she wants. I use my spirit to measure whatever the ancestors tell me to do, I do it. I don't use exact measurements on, like, how much flour needs to go in.
Uh-huh.
Have you had the same experience with
No,
sourdough?
I have not had that level of relationship with my sourdoughs. I typically, when I have my sourdough pet, I use it for a while and it dies, and I just start all over.
How long is a while? I'm curious.
It's probably a couple months, then I'm, like, tired of sourdough, and I'm like, "Okay, you're going in the fridge." And then I never have the patience of reviving that thing, so I'm like, "New batch, let's start all over."
That's interesting. Yeah, I feel like I have an emotional attachment to mine now, and I don't want anything bad to happen to her.
What happened when you were away? Like, when you had your trip?
I fed her right before I left, and I stuck her in the fridge, and then I fed her
Okay.
immediately after I got back, and she ended up being okay. She
Oh,
had
good.
a little bit of the hooch, like, all over her, but I think I did have to pour a good bit out, but
Uh-huh.
she recovered, I recovered, everything was okay.
Oh, that's good. Wow. Wow, that's
Mhm.
so cool. I have never had a relationship with one.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like I've definitely had another friend who she and I actually when we got our little powdered starter, we
Mhm.
got it at an antique festival. And at this antique festival, they had like different booths all set up, and so we were able to get ours. And she started hers earlier than I did, but she texted me about I wanna say 2 or 3 weeks ago, and she was like, "Hey, do you have any more of your starter? Because I got tired of mine and I just let it die." And I was like, "Yeah, Lori, you can have some. Here you go." I really
Oh,
hope that I can keep it alive. Who knows? I don't know.
maybe I should grab some from you and play
Yeah.
with it.
Oh my gosh. You know what? That would actually be a very lovely holiday gift if people exchanged sourdough starters.
Ah, yeah.
That's what I'm gonna get my dad for Hanukkah. I'm
Oh,
gonna give
really?
when I go back home to visit everybody for Christmas and
Uh-huh.
slash Hanukkah, I wanna give him a little jar of sourdough starter.
Oh,
So,
cool. That's
if I
fun.
can get it through TSA, I don't know if that counts as a liquid.
I
What
don't
counts?
know. Don't bring a lot.
Yeah, no. Well, that's the nice part, right? Is like you don't even have to have a whole lot of it. You can just like I could probably have, I don't know, like maybe like a really like small amount, maybe like more than a thimbleful. Like it doesn't have to be a whole big jar of it.
Yeah, yeah, like a couple tablespoons.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, we'll see. We'll see.
Uh,
But yeah. Are you looking forward to Thanksgiving? Are you getting excited about it? Are you just let's move on. Let's just because I know that the trip down is probably a lot.
yeah, I think I'm just like, if I survive my mom and my aunt, I think I'll be happy. I don't need to worry about food. They've got that covered, and I'm just not gonna deal with the stress of like cooking a feast. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's nice to give the reins over a little bit. Like I
Mm,
think to do it every single year without a break, I think is a lot.
yeah.
Um, and I get why there are like in some families like people will switch off. So it'll be like
Mm,
one year this aunt does the Thanksgiving meal, and then another year, oh, we go to the siblings' house for Thanksgiving, and
mhm.
yeah, it's nice to have that trade off. But holidays are exhausting. I feel like no matter no matter if you're hosting or if you're traveling to the host, it's just all tiring.
Yes, especially the family members who are difficult.
Yep. Yep. It's a lot.
Uh,
It is a lot. And we could talk about the coping mechanisms we used perhaps in the next podcast.
yes, yes, that is a whole episode in it of itself.
Yep, it's yep. Hooray for therapy.
Yes. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, thanks for listening. This was very fun.
That's it for this episode of Cozy Kitchen.
We're so glad you stopped by. We can't wait to see you the next time we sit by the fire. See you next time.
Next time.